What's up YouTube, Mr. Llamacy here, and today we're going to be doing a review of killing every single monster in the game with 10,000 magic find, or however much magic find. It doesn't really matter when you really get to those later stages. So we'll go through it and we'll take a look at all of our finds. Overall, I would say this took us probably like 9 hours or so to get through everything. And I was overall disappointed. Now, the one thing I want to show before we get into the actual items is the reason that having 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 magic find doesn't really make that much of a difference overall. And it is right here, right? So you can literally look and see that your unique items are trending towards a limit at 200 magic find. So no matter what your total magic find is, whether it's 1,000, 5,000, 100,000, there is always this limit. The limit is 250. Okay. The limit is 250. Yeah, 1,000 is actually kind of a small number, but even still with the limit being at 250, that's not really increasing your unique items that much more, right? Set is at 500. Rares are at 600, and then blues continue on this linear path. However, you are capped at 66% of items. So 33% of items will be white and broken or, you know, damaged and whatnot, right? So that is just a cap that exists within the game. Otherwise, you have all of these caps that do exist as such, thus continuing to increase your magic find into insane numbers isn't really giving that much boost. For instance, the difference between 0 and 100 magic find is more than the difference between 100 and, you know, 400 probably. And the difference between 0 and 200, you can see, is going to be just as much as 200 to 1,000. So really, when you do get into that, you know, 300, 400 MF, that's where you're really starting to cap out. And obviously there's still some room, but a lot of times all that extra doesn't do a ton. Here we can see it does a little bit extra, but again, we're comparing, you know, if I get 10,000 magic find from this Easter egg to my guys that are running like 600 magic find. I think I had a sorceress that was running 840 magic find in LOD. There's not much difference there that we're going to see. So anyways, I went through and killed every single monster in the game and noted down every single set, unique, rune, and then if I got any good charms or like rare things while I did it. And here is what we landed on. The duplicates are because I did have to restart my game at one point. So I just cleared 3 acts, restarted my game, cleared the other 2 acts, and thus there were 2 duplicates of uniques. Otherwise, uniques should never duplicate in a single game. But of all the stuff that we did find right here, Haltusk, Goldstrike, Skull Splitter, all of this, overall, pretty disappointed. You can see there's really nothing great within this. We found Goldstrike and Witchwild, which were kind of cool. I mean, I like those items. We did find a Mantled Heel and a Nagel Ring. So, like, yeah, you know, maybe if one of those rings rolled nice. We found an Eye of Etlich. So that could have been cool. Later on, we did find Duriel Shell, Razor Tail. We found Skull Collector, we found Spirit Shroud. So some items that could have been useful along the way. You know, if I was playing like just a plain character going through the game and killing everything with this. Mage Fist, you know, Bone Hue for the Mercenary. But overall, just a lot of normal and exceptional elite or exceptional unique items that just were not that great, right? Your Woestav, your Venom Ward, your Gorefoots, your, you know, whatever, Steel Clash, Ichor String. Just a lot of random items. In terms of sets, and then you can see quantities right here. We found the entire Angelic set, which is cool. The entire Berserker set. a lot of the Eisenharts. We found 4 Eisenhart case and 4 Eisenhart horns. So multiple of that. We found 4 Saigon's pieces, maybe 3. Helm, gloves, belt, and boot. So we did find 4. 4 Saigon's pieces. In terms of higher level stuff, we found a couple Alders. Alder's helmet and Alder's rhythm, the weapon. We found Sazami's mental sheath, which is kind of cool. But multiples of like Eisenharts, Vidalas, Berserkers, 3 Vidalas barb right there. We found 3 Tal's mask, which is a pretty common drop, so it feels like, yeah, that makes sense. And then again, just a lot of really low, weak ones. A couple of Mortal King pieces, a couple of the Alder pieces, but a lot of not great stuff there. Rune-wise, the highest rune we found was only which again was disappointing. I was really hoping just by killing that much stuff. By the way, this was killing on player 7, so everything was max that I could find for item rolls. We only found 2 1 pole, 2 lem, 2 ko, and everything else was below it. Tal rune was definitely our most found rune. Ral, Ort, Thol, definitely. Soul, Hell, found an okay amount of those. You know, some Doles and Neths and Tears and a single Neph. Oh, I had 9 Orts. Sorry. But overall, just, yeah, I was disappointed. I was hoping to at least get like 1 high rune. And of all of this, if we, you know, do equals sum F1 to F21, 81 runes were found plus this and this. 83 runes were found. And being the highest, I would say, was a little sad on that. From charms, we found 3 6% magic find small charms. We found a combat skill grand charm right at the end, literally like the last 10 minutes. And then we did find a key of hate from the summoner. This is just kind of an other notable items. And that's it. That's all we got. So, like I say, it was a paladin combat. P combat. So that was nice at least. But like I said, overall pretty disappointing for putting 9 hours. I was really hoping to come out with more than this. Maybe get a grail item, maybe get a high rune, something of that. I've heard other people that have said they've done this, and it just doesn't, and they've said they've gotten more. So I'm a little disappointed with what all we have. But this does show, number 1, having 10,000 magic find doesn't really change things. And number 2, you're still going to be way more effective going again through your, again, yeah, I mean, obviously this is also just, there's variance. This is a single playthrough of it. But I do think it still shows you're going to have a lot better chance at getting those high runes, getting those items that you want, getting your TC87s, getting just better items in general, specifically farming key areas. Like 9 hours of Pendle runs or 9 hours of Mephisto or 9 hours of Travancore or whatever will oftentimes, in my opinion, even on average, yield better results than we got from this, which does make sense because, again, in those times you're going to be going after specifically better things, whereas here we're killing just a lot of quantity, but a lot of that quantity, you know, isn't always going to be able to drop things like your griffins and those things, and just isn't going to be better overall. So, yeah, that was it. I hope that this review is fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the playthrough of it. Kisses to you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace, YouTube.